I stayed up until roughly, I think it was roughly 6 in the morning, maybe until 3:30 in the morning. I tried to wake myself up at 6:05 by setting an alarm for that time on my phone. I didn't set an alarm for this laptop because the guest internet I currently use can be a bit, it can cut out at times. It cuts out every few hours or so. To have me reaffirm the guest connection. Either the alarm didn't go off for some reason, or I slept through it. The latter of which is probably more likely. I believe the chime sound was the loudest alarm I could find. And even that one isn't very loud, I don't think, so. Perhaps I was in the deepest stage of sleep at that point. Even though I think those sleep cycles are roughly 90 minutes, probably 2 to 2.5 hours passed in that time. I worked on some new styrofoams today as part of my work on the 99th Dan Hamming. The primary things I did today was make a phone call to my mom in order to discuss. What ended up happening was we ended up discussing my future plans in a sense. We talked about my desires to go into the Masters of Public Administration program. At Brockport after I graduate. And then I also talked about this incredible internship my sister found for me. Although ultimately I've got to figure out how to make a good resume and cover letter for that internship. We also talked about the possibility of me being a paralegal Though there was some confusion regarding obviously you have to be a lawyer to be a public defender, since public defender is a type of lawyer. I think having a master's of public administration would help me to be competitive in the competitive fields of law school. Building the Dwarven Bulwark significantly changed the game for me, and I now have to increase the rate in which I produce supplies. That's why I upgraded that workshop. Excuse me. At about 4 hours, I'll complete this quest in the fairy storyline. Building that Dwarven Bulwark significantly increased my training size limit. My training size being the maximum number of units I can train at once. It costs a lot more supplies for me to train units now, since it's now going to be more steady. I spent the day enjoying the new resort map in Bloons Tower Defense 6. There's a spot that's really good for the hero Sada, who only got a slight nerf. I knew that a nerf was coming eventually, but thankfully it was only slight. I like Sada, but I use Gwen Obenfoot for my usual standard hard and all of its sub modes, including Impoppable and Chimps, because I need him for the popularized druids. And then MIB, Monkey Village strategy, that I found off of the wiki. Incredibly, they also buffed the Wizard Lord Phoenix. So I dipped my toes in trying to do a 2-tower Chimps off of the resort map, using Sada and the Wizard Lord Phoenix with the path that allows them to see camo. By trying that out on a game of standard hard. or a standard hard game, I should say. Well, there's no more pasta, but there's still more Italian sausage. I came pretty close to getting past round 63 on that standard hard game with just soda and a 1 tier 5 upgrade away from a Wizard Lord Phoenix. Basically just a Wizard Phoenix. Since it's pretty costly to go up to a Wizard Lord Phoenix, they buffed the Wizard Lord Phoenix at least twice in a row, so I figured now was a pretty good time to ultimately try and go for that at least a little bit. But I'm not entirely sure yet if it's ultimately possible, at least for me. Since I'm doing it on the new resort map, which has a beginner, which has been rated beginner difficulty. I'm pretty sure you can only get a blueprint in a Fellowship Adventures, but those are about as rare as episodic events, which I think is the technical term of what I call evolvable building events, since they always come with an evolvable building. I've also spent significant amounts of time catching up on that backlog of my dinner videos. I've actually completely erased the backlog. So now all I need to do is upload this video for there to be no backlog, ultimately. I'm currently working on scenes where I introduce Officer Bobby again. The current problem to solve is to try and figure out how to group everything when everything covers up the entire edible area within the Beyond studio. I'm hoping to put a city expansion here and one here in order to make room for a level 4 ferry portal site and potentially another night farm. This is where I stand currently in regards to the research. I'm currently growing cocoons on my day farms, and I believe night sheep. Oh no, I mean fireflies on my night farms. The ones that currently aren't being upgraded, that is. So I've been doing some work on the Bane styrofoam for my dad. The hot fudge is pretty good. I don't always do this, but I try to draw the arms because they're pretty unique. I based it off of Bane's appearance in Batman Unlimited from 2016. Since that's when it first, believe that's the first appearance of Bane that has. Oh, okay. Love you too. That mouthpiece that you would expect to see today on Bane.